I was born in Wolverhampton, really not too far away from where we are now, about 5 miles away, so I've always been a Wolverhampton boy, always stayed here. I imagine I always will, really. Lots of people knock Wolverhampton. I know it's got a really sort of rough image. The town centre is not great. 30 years ago it was fabulous. You used to see women with fur coats and crocodile bags walking around. It was a really fabulous little town. Well, we were both hairdressers in Wolverhampton, and I knew obviously Royston was a hairdresser and he knew I was a hairdresser too, and we'd maybe see each other out at clubs or maybe having a drink or something, but we were never friends. We'd nod to each other and say hello, but that was it, never more than that. And then one night I'd gone to cut a friend's hair, a girlfriend's hair, and I was at her house, and she was also a really good friend of Royston's as well, and he just turned up out of the blue. And he started talking, and at that time Royston only ever went out with very, very, very wealthy guys. He'd gone out with people like Ken Shanks, who owned Armitage Shanks, and the guy who owned British Midland Airways, and he was having a whale of a time. I started training in hairdressing because I hated school and wanted to get out as soon as I could, and at that time I either wanted to do fashion or hair. Well, in fact, I wanted to do fashion, but I wasn't clever enough because you'd got to go to uni, and I just wasn't into anything like that. I didn't want to do that. And an aunt of mine at the time saw a thing in the local paper that said, they're looking for a Saturday boy in a hairdresser's, why don't you go and try it? So I went, got the job, and after 2 weeks I just knew I really loved the job, so that was fine for me. I just loved it, and I was very close to leaving school then, so they offered me a job after the 3rd week, and I just went and worked there. So we opened the salon. It was under Royston's name, and we'd open at about 6 in the morning, and I'd go and work there till about 8:30 and then go to my job, because I kept my job because we wanted to be sure that we were going to have the mortgage to pay and everything. And then I'd leave my job at say 5:30 and we'd work there, and sometimes we'd been there till 2:30 in the morning. We never turned anyone away. And we used to have all our friends from Wolverhampton who worked in hairdressing would come and help us at night. They'd come and blow dry for us and all that sort of thing. I think that's where things have changed now. I don't think that would happen now. People were much more friendly and more giving in those days. And as I say, we did that for probably nearly a year, really. We just worked and worked and worked and worked and built on that. And after probably 9 months, I left the job I was in and went to work with Royston. Then we opened this other salon, the second salon, if you like, in Shrewsbury, which was 2.5 years ago. And Royston's there 4 days a week, and I'm there 1 day a week. And it's been great, and it's really built up well now, and it's, you know, I'm glad we've done that as well. And I suppose in a way it's changed the dynamics of things, because we don't see each other as much. Because people used to say to me all the while, how do you live together and work together? You know, we've been together now 32 years, and we've sort of worked together almost all that time. So it is a long time. So in a way, I suppose it gives us something to talk about as well, but the business has been successful in Shrewsbury as well, which is great. My job has been amazing for me. It's took me to great places, and I've done things I never thought I would do. I've been very lucky to meet celebrities and work with celebrities. One of the really good things that ever happened to us was when Katie Price was at the height of her fame. I know a lot of people used to laugh at her and, you know, talk about her, but at the end of the day, she was one of the biggest celebrities at that time. And when we did her wedding to Peter Andre, it's the only time ever that OK has gone to press 3 times. It sold more copies even than Victoria Beckham's wedding and Princess Diana's wedding. So she was big at the time. And Kate gave us a lot of prestige, really, because we were on a TV show. If she was in a magazine and she was at a party, we'd always be with her. You know, she'd always credit you really well. She'd try and get you in the photographs. So we became quite well known. And then obviously from that leads on to meeting other people. And then when we bought, when we had the Dorchester Hotel, Tamara Eccleston was the face of the Dorchester. Now, Tamara was fabulous. She was such a lovely girl. We've won the BH Hayes twice. We've always been a finalist in there. We've won lots of other awards and been lucky to do things in hairdressing, which have been fabulous. We've travelled all over the world and done things. Designer-wise, I mean, it's very difficult because sometimes I love them one year and then hate them the next year, but my favourites are John Galliano. Love his stuff, and I've got some fabulous jackets of his. Love D Squared and love Alexander McQueen, and Royston's favourite is Alexander McQueen as well. We used to love Dolce & Gabbana, but I know we're both old now, but oh my God, I think the stuff makes us look even older, so we've gone off that a bit. Plans for the future is to really just carry on, be happy, hopefully continue to have good health and just enjoy our lives as much as we can, really. That's the main things we want to do now. We've had a great time along the way and we've been successful, and obviously want to continue to be successful, but we just really want to have a great time.